Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live Season 2, Episode 11. I'm sure that title's getting longer and longer. Today is our special OP9 update. No, it's not. It's the pre-raid rumbling. It's Utopia is the raid, and we're going to discuss just about everything, as well as the update today. We've got a lot to get through tonight, and we've got a lot to discuss. So we'll do our best to give you as much information as we can in the time we can. But I think without further ado, we'll just go straight into the slides because there is a lot of them, and Mark is going to lead you into the slides.
Yeah, sure. If you can just share me up.
You all right?
Yeah, we're good. Okay, so here we go then. TFC, obviously, it's Season 2, Episode 11, 14th of March, 2017. What's on tonight's show? There's the slide pack content. It's a busy show tonight, as you can see there. Quite a few bits to get through. Right, so here we go. First slide then, and here it is. Yeah, it's the Utopia raid, as you can see then. We've managed to pick up the badge today, so thanks to GDR for sending that one to us this afternoon. So that's the badge that you'll be picking up on the right-hand side there, and obviously participating then, it looks like, if you can see it, it looks like some sort of guy doing a salute or something like that, so just for taking part in the March event. Moving on then, Utopia raid, nothing's really changed, to be honest. The footnotes are the same there, you know, relocation stops, you know, limited to 10 people on your Facebook friends list underneath, and sector threat, etc., and gantry and foundry targets will be disabled and that sort of stuff. So timing's the same, bit of UK timing, a bit of PDT timing there. However, that's not quite right, is it? Because now you've lost 1 hour in the States to be an update, is that right?
Yes.
Yep. So I'll adjust that before I do the PDF documents, because I made an assumption there, but actually you're 1 hour less now, aren't you? So
our clocks change in 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly that. So your PDT times are correct, but our UK times are not correct. I'll adjust that accordingly. But anyway, so everything else is not changing because there's no update, particularly apart from a new target, as we know for the S set. But talking of sets, here we go then. So targets, we have got the classic example of tier 3, tier 4, and that sort of stuff. Okay, and so tier 3, obviously, as you can see, 31s, yeah, through to 35s, and tier 4, 51s through to 57s. There's the point bonus, and there's the points per target. Pretty standard. They give you an indication of what to hit actually this time for each tier, which always makes me smile. That's not changed then, and however this one has tier 5 the same. Okay, and so that should be your ironclad apparently auto set. But tier 6, as we know, they've added a 107. We haven't actually seen the target yet, so I'll be interested to watch some videos from the guys in Alpha.
So the total points for the tier 6 is pretty decent.
It is quite reasonable, isn't it? So, to be honest, if you were in the last raid set and you were smashing out hundreds like they were going out of fashion as I was, you could either continue to do that, or you can take a risk and have a punt at 107 and then get the combination tier bonus of obviously the 2.5 million. So, you know, it is a decent whack, I have to say. But you know,
yeah,
we need a lot of points, don't we? Potentially. So that'll be interesting. And obviously they've got the 2 blitz targets now. So the indication is that the 74 is a tier 5 blitz and the 59 is a tier 4 blitz. That's what they reckon. 10 cycles for each if you want to. 5 gold if you want to blitz the 74, and obviously 1 gold if you want to blitz the 59. Debatable whether that's value for money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not sure what people think. Campaigns, obviously there's 2 campaigns again, so it's the Uprising Elite. Yet again, you can run through each of these 20 times. A lot of people were very happy with these because obviously you can do these sort of things. Some people on auto on their mobile phones, which they can do at work while they're supposed to be working. So you know, several people went through these and they were really, really content with it. So that hasn't changed. The raid notes are basically pretty standard. Obviously go through the complete set and it'll reset itself and that sort of stuff. You can obviously stack up a load of 51s if you wanted to, and you know they'll add to the next set if you've done more than what's prepared for that set to be completed. So you can use locator to obviously identify targets, etc., etc. I don't think anything's really changed, to be honest. And notice they're hitting targets below your level, recommended result in fewer points. Well, that's not changed, but obviously I've only ever hit the S target, so I've never actually accrued that issue. So that's it in raid information. Cracking through these slides. Uranium, okay, depressing as ever. Nothing's ever changed with that. Then, so Zoe's will be out again on Saturday. 42k on completion of obviously the target. Have fun with those. Everybody's bound to run out. It's a long week, isn't it? To be honest. So I don't think they take them off to up until Saturday just so they can get the thing up and running and stops lag and any other problems. I'm not sure, but maybe they kick back in on Saturday, so it's not horrendous this week, but they'll be popular because it's a long raid, isn't it? Yeah, so no additional points as ever. Just payouts 20k top, so might pay to wait. Right, so where we'll slow down a little bit. So this is the first of the slides then for the prizes. We know that the prize pool for this is huge. So Andrew, who has done all the slides tonight, thanks Andrew, mate. He's working at 3 a.m, which is why he's actually asleep at the moment. He's broke it down into sections for us. So this is the prize hulls. We know then that the Icebreaker is obviously on one side. Behind that hull is the Imperium, so you've got to get the Imperium first and then get the Icebreaker.
Also, you must also get the mortar, the new mortar D100C and the trajectory plotter before you get either the Icebreaker or the Icebreaker's weapon or the Icebreaker special. You got to get the whole general assortment for any of the new garrison stuff. The
Shabam, yeah, exactly. On the opposite side, obviously, is the new Fury flag, so which we'll look at in a moment anyway. And then below that is a plethora of PvE and PvE holes and PvP holes as well.
Some good stuff on offer there as well.
There is some cracking stuff on there. There's some dross in today's game. There is also some dross. Okay, but there is some very good stuff in there as well.
Harlock Citadel 10 mil, Zoe's Vendetta 3 million. I mean, that's crazy. It's good stuff. Harlock's Ironclad 10 mil. Nice prices.
There is a lot of people pick up that Zoe's Vendetta without a doubt, I reckon.
I have.
For free. Yeah, you will be. I know you will be for a start. So yeah, no Zoe's.
I was a little bit disappointed to not see the Harlock's Tideseeker in there actually.
Harlock's Tideseeker and Zoe's Retribution. That's the two things I was hoping to see.
We've given out the Tideseeker. How many Harlock Tideseeker campaigns have we had now? 3?
Yeah, but some people can't do those campaigns, so it would have been nice to be in the prize list, so they have the option to pick up the points and redeem it.
I like the Malice is 1.5 million because I think the Malice is a fun hull.
That Harlock Tideseeker literally makes your Tideseeker. So without it, you kind of screwed it.
Harlock's Revenge 3 million. I mean, that's
good.
Yeah.
Good prize.
And then they said mid-levels can have some right fun with quite a limited amount of fundings, I think, to be honest. It's interesting.
A guy I know that's just come back to the game is looking at 1 billion points. So I told him, buy yourself a couple of cases of Monster and snort some Pro Plus and you'll be all right.
I mean, you imagine it now. There's an example. There's a Vendetta in there for 1.5 million and there's a Zoe in there for 3 million. So you can have that and just tick it with your standard tank that you've got. You can use a Zealous or something like that. The Judgment Mortar is obviously in the FM anyway, quite low down. What a nuts fleet for somebody about level, anyway, it's in player level sort of like 50 up to sort of 70. That's a crazy fleet.
10 million points and you got yourself.
Well, yeah, but they get the Citadel now for free.
Yeah. They do get Citadel for free, but base hitting.
They redeem from here that's in the Forsaken mission is knocking it out of the Forsaken mission. So they're getting that much closer to those all important tokens.
I mean, Zealous for 1 million, that's quite decent, isn't it?
That's really good.
And that
I was pretty sure it was that price last time.
It's coming into its own, that hole, isn't it?
And if anyone wants to use the Imperium next month as their mortar hull, you need the Zealous as a tank. So if you're going to get the Imperium, you kind of must have the Zealous. If you don't redeem it now,
that's because the shared aura effects, isn't it, Ren?
No, the aura comes from the Imperium. I'm just saying the Zealous is the best tank we can build today for FM. And it matches speed and everything with the Imperiums. And the Imperiums actually make the Zealous stronger without the auras stacking.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get to the whole blueprint.
Okay,
I'm saving it for them.
Okay. All right.
I just wanted to ask you guys a quick question. Looking at the PvP halls, if you were to suggest a fleet for somebody, just quick without long explanations, I would suggest the Spite and Vendettas as the two to combine and make a fleet. How about you guys? 2 hulls together.
Oh, see, I quite like, being a pain in the ass. I quite like the Malice with Vendettas.
There you go. Next.
Malice and Vens.
Cool. Next.
I would have to say Hell Wraiths and Apollos,
You can't drive them.
Okay, shut up.
Tide Seeker and Zealous, just because of the way that you can use them all in the game. Because the Citadel you get out of the FM.
Listen to the question. The question is about a PvP fleet, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm cooking and doing this at the same time.
Pay attention, fucker. Oh, sorry.
if you're lower level, I would say the Halux Revenge and the Revenge. Those make for some decent fleets.
Okay. Anyone else? Robin?
How many can we pick?
Malice or Malice and the Vendettas as well.
Cool.
How many can we pick? 2.
Just 2.
Zoe's Vendetta and Vendetta, and then slip someone a bribe and take a Malice.
You saw my video.
I'm not taking 2.
You see, so clearly, I think the winners for everyone who sees this video is if you want a fun PvP tier 5 fleet, then I think the winner is the Malice and the Vendetta, with the Zoe Vendetta being the cherry on the cake, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go. So we have a winner. Thanks, guys.
Good pricing.
And if you are being greedy like Stu, it's only 6 million for all 3. So there we go.
Exactly. That's a bargain.
Okay, so here we go. Let's move on then. So that's hulls. Okay, the next one's a little bit busy. Ooh, look at all that lot. Okay, so as we said then, so there's the lot store. So it's the D100S rocket, okay, with its revised range, okay, if you saw the early release, okay. We'll go to the blueprint in a minute. A revised Garrison battery Mark X10, according to that, okay. That's also got revised stats on it as well. And then obviously all the items there below that, this goddamn charged Zinfonite and the C1M and the C1X, which we'll discuss separately. Everybody's friend. 5 million for HVR rounds. What do you reckon? Reasonable or still overpriced?
I'd get it.
Yeah. Stu, you getting that one?
Who, me? Yeah, I've got a list, mate.
You've got
sorry.
yeah. I was going to say, but it's not so it's components. It's not lots, which is great.
A huge list. Yeah. It's a couple of things like the VHR rounds I want, but I'm going to pick up 3 things which will speed up my AFM. I'm probably won't use them, but it'll jump me forward a week and a half.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah. Out of your top prize pool.
Yeah.
To the tokens.
Good plan.
I'd like to.
Oh yeah, if you want to get a shortcut on FM, I mean, frontline countermeasure system. Switchblade. There's quite a few things here from FM. Seismic rounds are there, right? Quake cannon.
Yeah,
I mean, if you just want to take that out of the way, but highlight to the evade upgrade. It's something people have been asking for over a year. That is a very old special that hasn't been offered in maybe 2 years. I don't know.
It's been ages.
The evade upgrade is there.
There's a lot of stuff there. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there. The Mauser cannon. I mean, there's the whole sort of list of stuff we've seen in the last few months.
D5E. Yeah. The D5 armors are good ones.
Stu brought up a great point about looking at the FM and kind of picking and choosing things to get your way to the tokens faster. I think that's definitely something that low to mid players should do, or even if you're not already at the tokens, just snap a few out. The D5 armor is definitely great. Evade upgrade is my go-to for, wait, I don't know what to put in this special slot. Well, I'll put evade upgrade. Frontline countermeasure system. Yeah. Frontline countermeasure system. Put it on your tanks. You're going to need a tank probably for this upcoming raid cycle. It's your full price, I think.
Sorry, Brent. Being a mortar raid starting next month in April. I don't remember Combustion System 2 being offered recently, and it's right there for 600,000 points. It's an
steal,
awesome
isn't it?
Special. It's my favorite special from this stuff from the series that buffs Spread and Splash. It's Combustion System 2, and it's there for the first time in many months.
Do you know what? I mean, a lot of people say, I like to use explosive system because of the weight and stuff like that, but I've always loved combustion system. Like, even just the first one, I've loved that special since the day it came out.
It just makes a nice mess. I love it.
Just looks cool.
Yeah,
and it builds in half the time as explosive system 4.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. If you're hitting turrets and not hitting ships, it is the one because it gives you that spread effect and it's lovely. I think it's amazing.
I think Robin and George were trying to point out as well. Agility system's taking a drop in price.
Yeah, well, we were kind of hoping.
You mean the correct price?
Yeah, exactly. So
back to as opposed to whatever it was, 4 or 5.
It was 5 million, wasn't it?
Nice to see hydraulic resistors in there again as well.
Yes, I'm going to pick up some more of those because I love using them a lot because you can obviously use ion thruster as well and up your evade for free rather than using the evade upgrade. That's what I've been doing is use the hydraulic resistor and then obviously use ion thrusters as well. So
the swings around for that, mate, because then you use up another special slot, innit?
But if you're going to do an invade upgrade anyway, then to be honest, once that thing's obviously R15, it's the same evade boost. So if you were going to use evade upgrade, you may as well put it on that engine. If it's not obviously a Conqueror Hulk, because otherwise it's a waste of time.
And another side thing is that we're coming up to Garrison Raid, and they love putting in those torpedo towers, and that has a nice little boost to that.
Yep.
10% concussive on holes that generally don't carry concussive defense. So.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's where, again, I'm going to say that again, that's where the Zealous as a tank comes in nicely because it does have some concussive defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
guess from a player's perspective, like if you're kind of like a mid-level and you're looking to get yourself a base or set up, there's an array of specials there that you can take to go with that. And if you're looking towards the next raid, you can pick, there's basically something for everyone there, which is it's a really good list, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just going to advise, Liam, I think for players who are completing things, just stick to a theme. And I know we have a slide about that later. Just like you look at all those prizes, but there are the things you need to build a decent Apollo. There are the things you need to build a decent Tide Seeker or a Hell Raid. Just pick a theme. What do you want to complete and go after that, right?
Don't be a child and a sweetie shop. But there's more on that in a bit. Okay.
Switchblades are there as well.
Moving on. Okay, and there's PvP components as well then, so there's some really good stuff in there. Scurry missiles in there, which is nice. I'm really a big fan of advanced guidance system. I like that.
There's a lot in there that I wouldn't class as PvP components as well.
Yeah, a lot of crossovers.
I use strike warheads.
PvP as well.
Yeah, warheads. Atomic targeting's good. Thermonuclear, a lot of people have been missing in that one as well. Yeah, strike warheads is fantastic, isn't it? On especially once you get retros.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Calamity Scattergun.
Seems like it's a special that doesn't come up a great deal.
Hammer cannon on your malices if you want to put it in your base.
Mm-hmm. Calamity Scattergun. I'm going to keep saying it. It's so
Calamity
good.
Scar, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Put on your Tide Seekers, be happy.
Coaxial firestorm.
Look, the Calamity Scattergun is there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it turns out. Yeah, Coaxial Firestorm's pretty good. It's not bad. Although the Pandemort took away the thing I liked most about the Coaxial was that it was 1800 armor for like 4 minutes 18 repair or something like that.
Crazy. Yeah. If only they could get a range boost, it'd be the go-to. It'd be the go-to mort then. Just with a range of 95 or something. That'd be fun.
I was just gonna say something half serious, half not, but resonance capacitor is there, and my suggestion is if you don't understand how it works, don't redeem it.
That's a very valid point. Joking aside, because if you can make a right mess of a base fleet, if you actually put it on there, that it doesn't work because you just you can really make yourself look stupid.
If you don't understand it, don't redeem it. Don't use it.
And if you don't understand it, George has some articles that will help you understand it.
Ren's done videos, George's done articles, but
you know what? Even if you don't understand it, but you can get 600,000, I will take it and then learn about it.
Ask somebody.
Yeah, because it's handy to have on certain fleets, like
yeah.
And at that price, it's worth getting.
So collect
probably
it,
wouldn't be my
redeem it.
first choice.
PM Robin.
Don't use it. Don't use it, PM Robin.
is going to be the customer support for Renaissance.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, so there we go.
Just for fun, Liam, can you say the name of that spec?
Yeah, it's Renaissance. Enjoy.
They did
that was actually
the resonance battery to the resonance capacitor, so it actually works out.
A graphical error on Kickstarter's part. I'm pronouncing it correctly. They spell it wrong. So.
Okay.
Hey, have we had Liam try Robin's last name yet?
Oh, what's Robin's last name?
We're not going to say.
I thought it was Kangaroo.
What? Where is Robin's last?
That's the middle name.
I just called it Mr. Skippy earlier. So.
Robin Pyatt. Is that right?
Oh, you got it right.
Hey!
Oh my God.
Moving up in the world.
Wow.
I almost called her Yeti, so Liam was that one.
Isn't that right, Mr. Brian Randick?
To accomplish the medium difficulty in this game.
Okay, so here we go. Sorry, it's the specials, guys. There's good the Cat Mortar. If you haven't got it, get it. That's what I can say.
I was just about to say, Cat Mortar being tier 6 will probably be, if you're that far behind in the game, it will likely be your first tier 6 turret. So that's one of the best ones you can.
Yeah, without a doubt. In fact, I mean, and Glacial's still fun. I know a lot of people don't have to have issues with Glacial anymore.
Sorry, Mark. I just wanted to quickly add as well the cadmium. Cadmium solar panels, along with that solar thingy armor as well.
Yeah,
will allow you to equip the Catmore on a level 7.
Level 7.
I don't know how hard to get
is
level.
Cadmium. Technical term?
Get them together. Whatever it is, dickhead.
That is the science way. Also, the Glacial Launcher, we just got the fuel tank that has 80% splash. And Glacial Launcher turret has splash. Do it.
We like Glacial. It's good. It's good turret.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
There's a lot of stuff there.
There's a lot of good stuff
Oh,
in here.
look what's down there. Anti-Rocketeer turret. Is it working now? Because that's down there. Look.
Mine works a treat.
The level 4. That's not been around for a long time.
That only come out once. I've got 2 of them. Remember there was a campaign when we went into OP9 or just before OP9, and they give out 2.
Yeah, there was a campaign where Draconians attacked our base with those carriers that had 250 range. Remember?
Yeah.
I want to say something. I want to brag.
Go on.
I took the time like a month ago. I wrote like a letter to the Kickstarter game designers about them releasing turret after turret after turret and never releasing the specials. And man, I'm so happy to see that the guy actually said, "Oh, that's some good ideas. I'm going to take some notes, blah blah blah." And now here it is, like all the turrets with all the combining specials. I'm so happy about that.
It is good. Yeah, hydrogen coated barrels.
Top picks if you have none of them in the current metagame.
Wow, you have none of them.
Catmorts, Glacial.
Catmort. What are you thinking of the Draconian coaxial turret against Libs? Any good or useless?
Meh.
So
actually, I might have to go against that Catmort because the T6 Conquerors that are coming out all have, like, they can sit under those things all day long. I might actually go with something else.
Yeah, but they're not all
most people I see are still being smashed by T5 hulls.
I've been contemplating building a Deadeye just to see how it runs at the moment because
you don't have Deadeyes in your base?
Ballista. I think he means the Deadeye Ballista.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ballista, yeah.
So I'm going to do it differently. Here are the turrets I would not redeem at all. It's the coaxial turret on the first column. The Frostbite on the first column because the Cold Snap's a lot better, but it's limited, but still. The Basilisk, I would skip it and go for the Draconian Scattergun.
If I'm honest,
and the Wendigo. I think the Wendigo had its day, but some people still like it. I don't know.
Nah, it has such a long build time still. Yeah.
So
fire support.
I think I would agree with all of that, Ren. All of those are ones I would skip.
And obviously, you haven't got Executioners or Deadeyes, then definitely get one of those.
Oh, the Deadeye Ballista. I would skip the Deadeye Ballista as well.
So if you want to get the Drac Coax, countermeasure targeting, smart warheads. That's a general accuracy buff, you guys.
Yep.
That is not pen accuracy. Try that.
Well, there's definitely some stuff. I think there's some stuff for everyone there, especially for people that have missed, maybe are not as current and have kept up with the last 6 months. There's a good opportunity here for people to catch up at a fairly good price on most of that. I mean, it's all below the 2 million, 1 million mark. You've only got one turret there at 4 million, so it's good pricing, I think, from Kickstarter on this as well.
And almost all, if not all, of those specials are fantastic.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I mean, if you are a player that's going to try and bag quite a few here, maybe avoid the stuff that you can get in Drake bases and the stuff that you can get in U bases like the ZU and the Fire Support M, because there's no point wasting points on collecting something you can go out and get in the game.
But sometimes a pain in the ass, especially on dubs, getting fragment by fragment. Like Zintium shells are so useful. Unless you got that new special from the end game campaign. These new shells are like now the second best or maybe the best new special for explosives. I'd get that one in a heartbeat if I didn't have it. Like, because the first time it's offered as a blueprint in a single piece, I think.
I mean, for me, like, I picked them up almost straight away, like fairly quickly. But I know that the prints aren't. When U bases first come out, they seem to drop 10 to a dozen, and now they seem to drop. It's quite more rare the drop rate on.
I mean, they've got a week, mate. I mean, Zimp Shells and Eruption Pyre. There's options there if you want to go for either sort of stuff. There are. It can make a huge difference. I mean, if you're a level, if you haven't even done your level 9 OP and that sort of stuff, and like I say, you've got level 7 turrets with a Catmort, Zimp Shells, Eruption Pyre. It's a bit of a transformer for you, to be honest. If you haven't like people attacking you,
and there's always those people that miss a TLC or miss the option to take a holiday for a week and you miss free new items in a game. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great there's a lot of people that miss Catmore as well. So
nowadays you take a week, you miss like 16 different new holes.
I know. That's the thing. You miss a week and there's like free TLCs and the FMs. And
Ren Steve's a week behind already. Right, go on then. Tokens and shards. Here we go then. So there's a plethora of these this time. The thing that I like the most is check out those tokens. I'll be getting every one.
I asked for it to rain tokens. And it rained tokens.
I'm actually building an Alpha Behemoth as we speak.
Oh yeah,
so that's good.
Make sure you get those mana war shards.
All right. Tokens. Wait, there are tokens, all right? Yeah, they are. Go get the 15-day tokens. Come on, chop.
Zelos as well. That's good for people looking like to build the fleet that Ren was talking about.
15 of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
that's the Zelos done.
That's basically a ship.
I mean, all those people as well that were trying to build the Ironclad. There's 21-day tokens at 500,000 a piece. You cannot ask for a better price and a better limit.
I'm not so
and
sure
not
about
just ship build tokens, but structure tokens as well.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's right, structure building.
I could ask about it.
I screamed like a little girl when I saw those tokens.
2-day tokens times 8.
Dockyard and shipyard, that's both of them right there.
Sorted, yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people are waiting for that, aren't they?
Jesus, man.
Most of your OP9 or dock and shipyard or a turret from 7 to 8 with a bit left over. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's some. I have not seen this till now, and that is really impressive.
And we all know what I'm doing with my structure.
Yep.
If you have the time and you have the fleet to do this raid in 6 days, but you don't have the coin on, let's say, on the XP weekend to coin repairs on a Zealous because it's 4 hours to rank it, whole bunch of VXP tokens there for the Zealous, or same with Ironclad. You don't have the coin to repair on the XP weekend.
Prides are there.
Coins.
And
cheap.
Ren, remember you were talking, Ren, about missing. I seem to remember you talking about 3 weeks ago about the Liberator as well, like missing the VXP weekend because you built the Liberators after. But there's some lit tokens there, so I know it's a small token, but there's something there for those that did build Liberators after VXP.
No, actually, 4 of those 25, I think the 425,000 tokens is enough to get 1 Liberator Skull, or 2 halfway there.
I thought it's two, isn't it? Or something like that? I'm not sure. Anyway,
isn't it 100,000 VXP to get your Skull? Or is that the Pride?
I think that's
the Pride was 100,000.
Oh, yeah.
Tier
One of
6
them
is
was.
Tier 6 is 100,000. Tier 5s are usually about 50.
Okay.
Well, they
So
will get one.
if it's 100,000 as I think it is, then 25,000 will take you like 4 tokens get one Scald or 2 halfway.
Well, see before we go into the news, I did want to say though, looking at the last few pages we've gone through, I almost want to go as far as saying that this is probably the best like store we've ever seen. Would you agree with that? I mean, there's that much.
I can agree with that.
I think that this is quite possibly the best store that Kicks have ever given us.
The only thing
and I know some people are.
It's there. Yeah, it's the first superstore that they're trying. So
the only thing
Nailed it.
slightly negative on is the price of the armor pools. Like, I mean, if that was like half price, I think that would be a lot more appealing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, 200 million is a lot of points.
yeah,
That's the only thing I'm really negative about. The rest of it is perfect. Like, beautiful amount of tokens. The prizes are used by and needed by most people. You know, it's great.
But the question is, are they overvalued? You know, like, are you going to want to run the chance of not getting them, go to the next raid, and then think, shit, I really need them to do this raid cheaply? Do you know what I mean?
I'm seriously thinking about.
Go on, Ram.
I was just going to say, I'm seriously thinking about skipping the Icebreaker, spending my points on all these tokens instead, and just getting the Imperium combo with weapon and special, plus the Salos I already have, and just that's going to be my first month raid fleet. Because I think with the Zalos and the Imperium, I can actually do the raid for low damage versus the Icebreaker is that one like where you will always take damage kind of thing, right? So I'm trying to do that.
Real quick about the VXP tokens. It's not the amount of EXP per rank isn't linear. It's increasing at an increasing rate. I would say concave up, but nobody will. Well, I don't get it. So the thing is, if you get a 25,000 VXP token and put it on a blank hull, you're going to gain more rank as percent of fire reduction rate than you would in the later ranks. So if you put if you buy 4 and put 1 on each, it's going to be better than sculling a single hull.
Yep. So it's nearly 60%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
I think the one, because I have one Liberator that I applied 125,000 token to it, and I think it took it to 48% bonus already. So Brian's absolutely bang on.
Yep, good. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
And here we are, the Icebreaker. So this is our revised stats, okay, or the revised stats, not ours, but it's the revised stats. After a little bit of negotiation, obviously, today, a bit of to and froing with Kixeye, this is the revised statistics and defense buffs for the Icebreaker. So please note then, if you hadn't clocked this before, the rocket range is now 30% as opposed to it was 60%. There's a reason for that, which we'll explain in a moment. Okay, a very good reason why that's actually that. Because otherwise, this would be the go-to hole for everything in the world to do with BP. But yeah, so rocket range is now 30% because the rocket itself has had an extension upon it, and the rest of it's pretty straightforward, to be honest. I know George had some thoughts on this hull particularly, didn't you?
I actually, yeah, I'm unlike Ren, I'm actually going to go full force for this hull. I think given the targets, garrison targets, and that the new hull, the skill hull, is going to be a long range, probably mortar chucker, but it's going to be a remote targeting hull. I don't see this performing like the Ironclad. I see this performing much like the Tideseeker, I would hope. I'm a little upset that they changed the the resistances.
Yeah, me too. It's the field effect now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad to see that the Cold Snap Immune got in there, which kind of makes me wonder what's going to be in these targets. But yeah, I actually
not
like
cold
it.
snaps.
I actually kind of like this a lot. And some people are speculating that they're going to use this as a tank for the new skill hull too, which you might be able to pull it off if that's all you got, or I don't know. But I do like the hull overall. I love the artwork on the hull.
I thought this was going to be the most expensive res collector ever, Because it holds 6 million. Look, so you obviously get a fleet of them together, and obviously put a few extras on it, and then you can pick up more res than anything else available to date. You know, it just costs you.
I kind of agree with I kind of agree with you, George. I think, you know, I know that it will probably be offered again at a cheaper price, but I think that it's going to be a pretty important haul, and I want to get it built quickly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I mean, the other thing is too is like if they do the same thing that they did in this raid set, the first raid that we hit is going to have no S target, and it's going to have the A sets tuned down. So if you want to get through that one cheap and then get the skill hull, you know, if you can get the points. I mean, that's the other thing. That's always the context. If you can get the points, you know.
George, just going to mention that quickly. Guys, can please note, okay, because some of the radios just picked up in chat, this is not a Conqueror hull, it's a Garrison hull, okay? Although it looks beefy and that sort of stuff, it's a Garrison hull. So you haven't got that deflection, 100% bypass, all that sort of stuff. This is going back to the normal sort of things that you see on the typical Garrison hulls, right? So
you can hit salvages with this
You can
hull.
hit salvages,
you can do it.
rank it and that sort of stuff on the water and all those sort of things. So yeah, we're going back to now Garrison raids and that sort of stuff. So this is a Garrison hull. Just bear that in mind, okay?
And that stacking effect is something that people should pay attention to. That is a very interesting mechanic right there.
5-ship fleet.
Which we believe is multiplicative, don't we?
Yeah, it's
all that stuff's multiplicative.
Are you even going to need to put any like resistance special on this after that stack? I mean, you're already going to get it not 99% with 5 ships.
No, you get 96.06%. Hi. I do this thing.
Sorry.
It's 90.
Well, either way,
92 point. What, am I doing math now or?
See,
If you want to do the math now, that's a bonus for each hull in the fleet.
Yeah.
It's like
so
a cannoneer.
To me, I mean, I'll just say straight away, this is a monster hull, literally. This is like one of Monster's babies, because this is just a go in there, click the back, and then just go blah all over it, and that's Monster all over.
Yeah, it is, but I'm still thinking the way Ren is, mate, because I haven't got clads, and for me to knock this hull out, it's gonna cost me too much, where I can spend my points on other things in the raid to affect other areas of my game a lot better, and then wait a month to get this hull,
and then get it, and then the next one, which should be 15 mil, then, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to be at normal price. Right now, the price is 4 times the normal price, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus the paywall of the other hulls.
yeah.
No,
So this,
You know,
this is 90 million. This is 90 million again.
what I think is very difficult, I think, for players to make a choice based upon information we don't know yet, and that's like. It would be great if Kixeye would, release the whole video with a teaser of what's to come, and then players would be like, and then players would be like, oh well, shit, I need to get that hole. Like right now, everyone's like, well, do I need it? I don't know. Maybe I can get by with this. And I wish that we had like, there was a way of knowing what was coming, because it would give players a much better choice.
Right, because right now we're extrapolating. Like the reason why I have the opinion that I do of the hull is not because of the hull itself. I mean, looking at it just, statically like this, it's kind of meh. But when you think in context of, hey, it's going to be a garrison target, citadels still have to be viable at some level, right? And then the new hull is going to be able to do this for damage free if they keep in the same vein as the last couple of raid sets. That means that there's only a limited amount of things that could happen that could affect this hull that would not, imbalance the rest of that. And in that context, I think this is going to actually do really well, especially with the armors.
And your point of mortar holes needing to be viable, like I agree with that, and I think in some sense there's some clues in the prize list, because you've got some mortar holes on offer. I mean, why are we seeing Berserker tokens? Why is the Nova Storm in there? There's mortar holes being offered there that almost would lead you to think that if you were a very low level player, you could pick that up and be able to do, say, C set equivalent in the next raid.
And specials, and specials as well. Ren said that Combustion System 2 hasn't been out in forever.
Okay, Here we go then. So let's move on then. So here we got some extras to go with that. Obviously, you got to collect these first as well. So the Garrison Bats, there is a new one, and obviously Siege Rocket is obviously the de facto weapon that goes on the Icebreaker hull. So we can see then they've had some adjustments again. So we're now up to building damage of 65% and wall damage 65%. Explosive damage stays at 18, which is the same as it was previously. But so we have gone up on wall and building damage a little bit. So there's been a revision there on that print. The rocket has been adjusted. Brian, do you want to quickly go through this rocket adjustment? Because you know it more than I do, mate.
The range has been buffed, hasn't it?
Well, the range has been
so the range changed because obviously the reduction, it was 57, it's now up to 68, which is correct and what it should be. And it mirrors obviously the other things like the Firestorm and the
Dragonfire.
The Reaver Tech as well. So,
Yeah.
but stats on firepower and that sort of stuff. Just quickly go through some of that.
Sure. I want to look at the reload time first. Reload time's 1. The min reload time is 0.2. The new hull has 100% reload. Well, 10% if you count its own field. Basically, you hit min reload with this at 45% rank. So 10 ranks up, you are going to be firing as fast as you can, and the rest of the ranks are just for turn speed, I guess. The DPS for this weapon is fantastic. It's over 2.5 times anything else I've seen, even the mortar for the Imperium. So the damage there is great. You do have to get close, but just realize you don't need all the rank, and this is really strong, but you got to get close.
It gets up to a range of 88.4, correct?
Yep.
Which isn't bad.
The old Siege rockets, which we used to put on DN on Dreadnoughts, they were great, but the way they fired, half of it missed, mate. And it just makes me wonder how these things are going to
spread. You need to bring the spread down.
Well, by a lot.
We've got specials for
spread
that.
on that's 150.
Yeah.
So let me say something then. On top of what Brian said, this is a ship. I mean, if you go all the 9 yards and you get the 90 million points, whatever, you get the ship, you get the special, you get the rocket. Literally, and hear that's important. You don't need to stress about the XP weekend much, because it already reloaded 1 second. As Brian said, 45% rank would give you the minimum reload time. There's no gains after that. But the ship has a reload buff when you stack more than 1. So if you stack 4 of those, can you go back 1 page, Mark, please? I just want to see what.
Or you can stack 5 of them, Ren.
What's the reload? 10%. So if you stack 4, and I'm saying 4, Liam, because I expect a flagship, right?
Exactly.
For now, we have 4 of those.
Something's wrong.
So you stack 4, 10% each, and then you have, pretty much you don't need rank. Having rank will barely affect your reload bonus when you stack 4 ships. There's not much there to be gained.
This is the de facto Siege rocket now, okay? There's nothing else, including the one that's on the Firestorm and that sort of stuff. This is the beast in the game.
So all those players putting a rocket reload special on needs to make sure they avoid that one like the plague, basically.
Yeah, you don't need that special for rocket reload either.
Cluster warheads.
Yeah,
required.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really
You
heavy.
do not need it. Math correction. My math was a little off. 58% actually. It was 42, but it was like 1 minus. So now for that 1 over. Oops. Here, calculator. You guys keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we'll move on, and you can talk about the stats in a second, mate. Right. Okay. So here are the 2 armor plates. Okay, these are obviously limited and that sort of stuff. The number of each that you can put on each hull is 1 of each at best. And who wants to go through the George? You've got the understanding of these.
The mega ship guy.
So it's think of like a shield or a force field or something like that.
Yeah,
What happens with this armor is you have 4 stats. You have the charge type, the armor pool, damage reduction, and the minimum damage, right? The charge type's what kind it is: explosive, penetrative, ballistic, whatever the hell they're going to come out with. The armor pool is the total amount that this armor is going to absorb essentially before it falls off or becomes useless. Okay. The damage reduction is how much like one-shot damage it'll take. So if you have like a listing of say 10,000 and you have a missile that does 15,000 for one hit, it'll reduce that first 10,000 to the minimum damage. That'll go straight to your hull, and then the last 5,000 is going to go into the regular damage calculation.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting. It's a new mechanic. It's
it's
really simple, but it seems complex.
It works like a shield, almost.
Yeah.
So who
It is a shield.
Who the hell in a Kickside office let the fucking Vega conflict guys in? You know, because it's basically that's exactly the same principle of Vega.
Well, Liam,
conflict.
it was either this or it was heavy armor, man, and we already voted out.
This is heavy armor. They've took my idea and changed it.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. George, you're going to do a blog on this, or you've done. In fact, you've done one, haven't you already? To be honest.
I'm kind of writing one while I was cooking and getting ready for the show.
Yeah. There'll be a blog on that. There is already a brief up on the Kickside forum as well, explaining how this works as well. But we'll break it down to proper.
Mark, I wrote a quick summary on our page today about how they work.
Oh, super.
With numbers, examples, and everything. So just one question that popped up a lot. They do not add repair time. So while they do deplete during a battle, and after they're depleted, you're left with your traditional resistances and deflections. Each new battle, they will recharge up to the percentage of health in your ship. So let's say you launch at 100% health, and you're going to get the total pool in the armor stats. You go to battle number 1, it depletes during the battle, but let's say your ship won and you took 20% damage. So now the second battle, your ship has 80% health left. The total pool only loads back up to 80%, which is the health in your ship. If you go into a battle with a zombie ship, pretty much you have no pool.
Got you.
So you can't exploit them as a zombie.
No, you cannot exploit them. And the other thing is too is if you're thinking that you can go out and come in as a zombie and then think that you're going to get the actual damage reduction. If your pool is only 10, your damage reduction is only going to be 10. It's not going to. There's no overlap of you're going to get 37 for the 37,000 for the first hit.
The other thing is you combine more than one. Let's say on the same ship, I choose to put 2 C1X. The only change is that I'm getting my explosive armor pool from 500,000 to 1 million because I have 2 of them. But it does not affect. It doesn't affect the other stats. The minimum damage is still the same, and the maximum it protects you from it's still the same. You just double the pool.
Well, it's always interesting to see a new mechanic come into the game, and this is a new mechanic, and I'm sure everyone's going to take a bit of time to grasp it. But it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out, and I'm sure it's probably not the first we'll see of these either. I'm sure we're going to see some more. So.
The only thing it does is encourage you to kill the targets quickly. Yeah. Because obviously eventually it's going to deplete and then it's empty and that's it then. So it does encourage the blitz player, doesn't it?
You mean rushing it with rocket hull?
Yeah, exactly that. Right, okay, moving on. So here we go. So there's the information. Then we're talking about obviously the generalist stuff. So there's the adapted Imperial mortar, okay, and the trajectory plotter itself. All right, and so both these are generalist only. Although actually the weapon there against the Imperial mortar doesn't actually say it is, but it definitely is, because obviously it's for the new hull that's coming out, which we'll show in a second. Damage, salvo of 2, split that in half. Obviously, damage then of 3,320, which is good. Quite a short reload time, quite nice. Got a bit of evasion there against anti-mort, which is quite nice. Splash 18, that's a good stat. We like that one there.
Reload time.
And by the way, that's special. Doesn't it look like a toilet with the lid open?
Yeah, do you know what I was thinking of that? It's a modern toilet, isn't it? The lid open.
Isn't it?
Special's good though. Projectile speed plus 40, mortar reload plus 80%. So 80% on top of that reload that's already 4. and then rank them up as well, it's going to be pretty rapid fire, that thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another one that, to be honest, I mean, you don't really need to be super psyched about the XP weekend, because a mortar reloading every 2 seconds, so to speak, it's great.
Yeah,
I still think it looks like a little charged up thing in the middle. I think there's a capacitor, and I think that thing is a smart toilet.
Yeah, maybe it is.
It's designed for certain diets, and it's definitely designed for George's diet because it's radioactive.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the mortar is for the generalist only, so it's not something you can take and put on the citadels.
It's for that baby there. Okay, so here's the Imperium. Okay, and so this is the Mort chucker to go with obviously your Zealous and that sort of stuff. Like I say, you can work the two together, and the auras work in combination. You can see then it's got 4 armor slots, obviously 5 special slots, and 8 weapon slots. So you can get 8 of those mortars on there. Combat speed is quite reasonable at 26, and the turn speed it's quite slow at 10. So you might want to consider what you want to do that. But then again, you're not going to be driving this thing in hard. You're going to be letting it sit at its peripheral of its retargeting range. There's a bit of drop off, obviously. Can't quite see it there. Where is the drop off? 20%, in fact. So you're getting a bit 20% drop off. But hey, that's not too bad. And it's not 100% obviously retargeting range. It's only 90.
Just like the point psych out.
You gotta remember, this guy supposedly won't take damage. It will be out of range.
Shouldn't, yeah.
Sorry, just about point out as well, the Renaissance trigger, yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Shut up, George. I
mean, the thing is, like, this new thing with its weapon and special, do a little better, even without the aura, do a little better than a judgment on Citadel without a Harlock Citadel. So this is fine. I'm not going to use it, but I think it's fine.
But you can't hit
actually, I'm planning, I think Monster said the same, I'm planning that this will be my raid fleet until I get the high skill hull. I'm going with the Imperium, Zalos, and the new mortar and special we just saw.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do as well, I think.
So yeah, I mean, you can build your Zealous like you do your Malice, and you can build this like you do your Vendetta, and now you've got a generous hull that can go and take part of anything. Really.
And I think for those that do decide to go with this, it's going to be an interesting hull. I think it's going to be a good hull. I think it's going to be good to see.
Well, we all have to go with this if we want the Icebreaker.
Looks like a funked up battle barge. That's what it looks like to me, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. The green battle barge. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like a funked up battle barge. Okay, moving on then. Here we go. Here's our lead Fury. Okay, Stu, you had some thoughts on this one, mate, didn't you? About putting it in the base and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that fucker's going straight at my base. Oh, why did I start with that? I forgot we were live.
You gave it away, Stu.
After 53 minutes, he still doesn't know we're live.
Oh, I give up with life.
Dumbass.
Okay.
So no, yeah, that's definitely going in my base. That's just awesome. I really like that. I mean, it says tier 5, which I think Brian pointed out before we went live that it's supposed to be tier 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the stats from what I'm seeing right there are insanely good. Like, especially if you consider what's out right now. I mean, you've got Liberators for penetrating deflection right there, 15,000. You've got the Oppressor with the explosive deflection, 10,000.
10,000, yeah.
If anything's getting into range of it, it's going to stun them, which is beautiful.
Which is 115, isn't it? It's one of that stun range.
You could even put a couple of Furies in your base, or maybe like this Fury and one other Fury, and buff that other Fury too.
Switch out the Rets that you had.
Nice. And then Ren, I think, had some points to make about the corrosive thingy.
Oh yeah, it's just saying. I mean, when you combine what you just said to the stun, right, with corrosive damage field, it's a very, very short range. It's just 60, so you got to put it in the right place in your base. But anything passing by this ship will take 24,000 corrosive damage per second. I don't believe there's a single ship with corrosive deflection anywhere near 24,000. So
make a mess of people's stuff, isn't it?
As they move, as they pass by, as they pass by, and you know, they'll be stunned, and then they'll be taking 24,000 damage per second as they drive by until they kill your ship. It's it definitely has its place in base guard. It can be a beast.
I know exactly what I'm putting.
Rockets.
Goes straight in my base.
You know, those annoying fleets that run the lead prize in or whatnot. You know, it's gonna kind of prevent a lot of the common threats we see at the moment. So.
Yeah.
And then you mount Calamity Scatterguns on this guy if you want. Right, Brian?
He's speaking my language.
That's for the Tide Seeker more so.
Okay, moving on then. And it's Robin's 5 slides. Go, Robin, if you're still awake.
Yeah, no, I'm still here. We talked about this a little bit on the open mic over the weekend about some of the things that went on during the raid, and a couple of people asked us to kind of go through some of the do's and don'ts for a raid. So we kind of put a couple slides together. The biggest thing is obviously tempering needs versus wants. We have a huge prize list that's out there. There are so many things that are on that prize list. I'm hearing so many people say, oh, I want to get 3 of these, 2 of those, 5 of those, and look at all of this stuff. You want to make sure that you're tempering your needs versus wants. It does not matter what you want. It's more about what you need. If you're not getting prize pool 5 in the weekly FM, then that's your highest priority. Then you want to take a look at your fleet for uranium, fleet for base parts, things like that. You want to make a list, and then you want to stick to that list. And then the biggest one is being patient. Again, long list of prizes. People who are prepping need to go ahead and get their points sorted out first before they start prepping for others. The other addition to this raid is that we've got 2 S targets. Last time we only had 1 S target. Now we've got 2. So we're looking at double the time with respects to prepping S sets. You don't want to ask for help the first hour into the raid, and you also don't want to wait till the last hour of the raid to ask for help either. And you also don't want to
get sunk.
Sorry?
I was going to say, we usually
Unless you
deal
want
with
to get
that.
sunk.
I was going to say, we usually deal with that by just rocketing your dog. Like, it's really
I know. But there's some people that don't know. There's some people that don't know. They see somebody else ask, and then they think that's okay to do. You also don't want to spam comms or PM people that are prepping. There's nothing worse than posting targets on comms, and then you get 50,000 other people sitting there saying, oh, can you prep this? Can you prep that? And you also don't want to hit people with PMs. Nobody is obligated to help anybody. There are some that actually merc for a fee. There are some that do it for free. But just as a reminder, yeah, not everybody is required to prep for everybody else. And then helping yourself first. You don't expect other people to do your raid for you unless you are paying for a merc. You want to make sure that you put the effort into putting some points on the table first. This is the 3rd raid of this cycle. We've had lots of time to prep. We also had a lot of people. We've also had a lot of people who have got ironclads from the last raid that have been busy putting those together. There are targets that you can hit with those ironclads. And then just a plug for the raid help page, or the raid crack page as I call it. Andrew's done an incredible job on that page on the TFC website. There are videos of every target that is out there, multiples in some case. There are builds that are out there. Take the time to go out there and take a look. You may go in, hit a target, and want to instantly give up in frustration. But there are videos out there that show the path. People take the time to put them out there. They also include diagrams of where to go, where not to go, and hints as well on what to do there. And then people are also always willing. And people are more willing to help those that are at least helping themselves first. If I see somebody that's out there that's been grinding away for a couple of days and is a little bit short on points, I'm more apt to help those people. Go ahead and give those people a hand, as opposed to somebody that's just been, posting on comms every 5 minutes. Can I get this target prepped, and can I get that target prepped? And then my big bugaboo, if someone sets a time with you, be there at that time, and then don't keep running away, especially if you're paying somebody to do your raid or help you with the raid, or if someone out of the goodness of their own heart is giving you a hand. There is nothing worse than setting up a time for somebody to be there. You're halfway through a crew, and then they're 20 minutes late, or you're 5 minutes into the first target and they got to go out and grab a beer, smoke, latte, whatever, or they got to go walk their dog. If someone takes the time to prep for you and sit there and do those targets for you, you want to make sure that you are there the whole time that they're doing that, and that you're engaged and that you're paying attention. And then a big point on crews, some of us that prep run some pretty big crews, and some of them last for about about an hour and a half. Some of them are shorter, but the absolute worst thing is when you're sitting around waiting for somebody and you've got a crew ticking down. And then another option, you may not be able to do the big targets yourself, but you can do the little targets. Sometimes it's, nice when you can get with somebody where, I can prep big targets for somebody and then somebody else can turn around and prep smaller targets for lower people. So don't forget that. And if someone does give you a hand and you have the ability to do so, don't be afraid to toss some coins their way, either before or after the raid, to help offset their time and their repairs. And then the other one is don't spend points until the end. There's nothing worse than finding out that you are, $500,000 short for a hull, but you went ahead and spent a bunch of points on a lot of little things just because they were cheap. Now, I'm not saying that cheap is bad. I'm just saying pay attention to what you're redeeming for to make sure that you don't end up hurting yourself on the back end.
Underselling what you can achieve.
Yes. And then
my only exception to that is like when people, if their fleets are not 100% done, like in the first raid, my cannoneers were not fully finished because I had to get weapon special later and whatnot. Then I started redeeming tokens halfway through the raid to do quick refits and improve my ships for the raid itself, right? I think other than that, I totally agree. Spend at the end.
Yep, no, that's a good point. I mean, tokens obviously are a little bit different, especially if you're doing a quick refit, like the HVR shells on boats as well. But again, the old way it was used to be, tier levels. But there are times when you'll see somebody that will go in and they'll say, well, and you'll look and they'll say, oh, I got 20 million points. Well, I spent 7 million on, a lot of little things. So you want to make sure that, again, going back to that, make your list and stick to it, that you're sticking with your plan. If you get extra points, then that's great. But make sure you get the things that you really need. And then if you are prepping, you want to make sure that when you list a target on comms, please put the player name behind the target so that everybody knows which target is for who. And then you don't run into situations where targets are getting snagged. And I think that was it.
Yeah, super. Thanks, Robin. That's great. Okay, so Stu's going to come up with this one there. Bug fixes and tuning. This is penultimate slide.
Remove the clear slot button displayed when selecting a hole in the shipyard, as it served no purpose.
Fair point.
Okay. Fixed an issue where the Forsaken Arena post-combat pop-up would incorrectly show a large amount of VXP earned when none is actually paid out.
It's been that for ages, hasn't it? But yeah.
Fixed a bug where the ironclad Bloodthirst icon was not appearing in combat.
Okay.
Fixed an issue where the limited offer pop-up could incorrectly show the discount percentage as 0.
Yeah, lots of complaints about that, isn't there? Yeah.
Incorrectly.
False advertising.
Incorrectly.
Yeah. Renamed Assault and Siege DPS to Ship and Structure DPS, respectively.
And that's deferred to next week now. That's going to happen, and you'll notice it on the blueprints that are out for the new ship when SIT goes live next week. So.
Then why did you make me read it?
Because it's in this week's bug fixing and tuning.
I know, I was joking. The following armors have had their time to build reduced. Penetrating plate 2 changed from 936 to 630. Penetrating plate 3 changed from 2848 to 725.
And that's a ridiculous difference, isn't it?
That is, actually. And
it was always crazy beforehand, wasn't it? Okay, so the last slide then for tonight, okay, 27 out of 27 in 1 hour. That's not bad going, okay? So this is basically Andrew's little creation. So it's his raid prize calculator. I know there are other ones out there, but what Andrew's done is something specific. Okay, on this one here, as I mentioned, obviously during the week, this one here you can actually put in your base level, and based off the target calculations and the points prizes, it'll actually tell you then if you're a level 105 and you're going to go and hit a C set, it'll actually accurately obviously project forward for you how many C sets you need to hit based off your rate, off your own sort of like base level itself. All the new holes there. It's up on the TFC website, by the way, and we'll put some links in, hyperlinks in on the page once and you can download this Excel spreadsheet as well. So every time you see a new hole, there'll be a little red tag to the side of it. You just cursor over that little red tag, and as you can see there in the bottom left-hand side there for the icebreaker, it's there, and it'll show you all the stats and that sort of stuff. So he's worked quite hard on this. Okay, he's made sure it's base relevant, so every person that actually downloads this is going to get a specific Excel spreadsheet, absolutely tailor-made for their base. That's how it works.
Awesome, absolutely awesome work.
Yeah, he's put a lot of time in this, and one of the things that I really like about this version of the spreadsheet, and I know this because I was actually his guinea pig for it for a while, is that if there are 10 items that you are allowed to get, it will not let you claim more than you wanted and vice versa, so that you don't end up in the position where you find out later that you earned too many points for something that you wanted, or that you shorted yourself something. So he's got a lot of really good controls within the spreadsheet that will stop you from making silly mistakes like trying to claim 15 of something where you only need 10.
Cool, excellent. And as far as I'm concerned, then that is that.
yeah, it's been a long show, guys. There's lots of slides, lots of information, and thanks TSM and thanks everyone. We've had a great show, and thanks everyone for coming out. We've had a large amount of watching tonight. Hope everyone has a great raid, and we will certainly be on hand in the TFC page to provide information, video. I'm sure some videos will be out, maybe even some streams. I'm sure there'll be.
Anyone with any questions, just PM Liam.
PM Robin is the new CS for TFC. Just kidding, Robin.
Don't take me with that brush.
If you have a complaint, it goes to Stu.
If you need to file a ticket to Robin, and we will take 24 to 48 hours to let you know that we've received your ticket.
And binned it.
But only if you
I was just about to
send
say,
at least $50 to me first. Then
Can I
I'll
just
get
close?
it.
send me messages, you're not getting a response. I hope you
Guys,
know
just,
that.
if you wouldn't mind, I just want to close with one thing. Listen, today's update, or earlier today, the game took an awful long time overnight to update and that sort of stuff. People got a little bit annoyed when we started to thin out some of the game's down posts on the page, okay? One is enough. The game is still down under the same post. 25 posts saying the game is down, and then you're getting pissed off because we delete those posts. It just isn't productive.
But how will I know that the game's down without the 25 posts?
Well, unless you're posting your Poke's high score, we don't want to know, basically.
You have literally the entire internet. Do anything else.
It can't be the only thing you do in your life.
I hear the
we
internet.
should have just stickied one and that would be it. But
I was just about to say, so basically Brian's saying go look at some porn, right?
well, with a last name like that, I'm not surprised.
That's true. Well played.
And that's because Liam calls Brian Randick, right?
Have you heard me pronounce George's last name? One sec.
George is like what? Ashford above
I can't even see his name in the chat. So
It's noob, isn't it?
Right, we're done.
Yeah, it's noob.
we are done, guys. Thanks everyone. Have a great raid. Don't get too stressed out about it. Take it easy. Have a look what's going on around you, and just enjoy it. And we will see you for Saturday's open mic mid-raid show. Hopefully we can get as many community on there as we can to discuss how we're enjoying the raid. Good night, good luck, God bless.
Liam's hair sucks.
Not everybody.
This is goo free tonight.